Coming soon from Deadites on Deck, Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel will rock his way into your heart for birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, or any old time. Available with or without sound. Visit deaditesondeck.com today for the hottest new plushie from Pyro Plushies, an Evil Dead chick.
They're all messed up.
Howdy, gang. Hey, the poet, and welcome to yet another edition of They're All Messed Up. Apologies for being a few minutes late. I was trying to finish up watching People Toys. I found out that it's a movie I have seen, but I'll get to that here in just a second. But I wanted to let you guys and gals know before we get to the movies at hand, Killer Reserve 9 Seats and People Toys, that the voting has ended for this Saturday's watch along. I was a little bit behind on taking the poll down, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974 won out, folks. Way ahead of the two other technically Thanksgiving horror films, but I threw Texas Chainsaw Massacre in there because it does have to do with, eating cannibal style. It does. So I threw that one in there. That was the one that won out. So this Saturday, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time, we will be having a watch along for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. So be sure to join me Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, folks, for that watch along. The poet, I'm still going to be sending your movies out here soon. It may be a few days, but I hope you're not as impatient of a person as I am, but I will get them out to you. Just wanted to let you know there may be a slight delay, but I will be getting those out to you soon. And before we get to the movies at hand tonight, I just want to remind everybody real quick, there are several ways that you can support me and the channel, and they won't cost you a dime. And one of those ways is by subscribing. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel and you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out, please, please, please subscribe. It costs you nothing. You're not going to be bothered by anybody. I'm not going to expect you to come to every stream, watch every video. I hope that you will come to a few and watch a few videos, but you're not required to do that. Yes, I've reached my 1,000 subscriber milestone, but who doesn't like to continue to grow and, get better as you go along with anything? But a YouTube channel is definitely included in there. Or you can hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the new content I've got coming out. Hopefully, I'll get better about starting on time. You can hit the like button on things that you especially enjoyed. And hey, if you enjoyed everything, hit that like button all across the board. And here's one other way that you can support me in the channel. It won't cost you a dime. It won't cost anybody you tell about the channel a dime. And that's by sharing with friends and family members that you think might enjoy the content I'm putting out. Just share my channel handle with them. And again, I will do y'all a solid and put my channel handle in there in the chat so that you guys don't have to, go around and search for it or think too hard about it or anything like that. All right, so let's get to these two movies for tonight, shall we? All right, so the first one is the Killer Reserved 9 Seats, or whatever that says there. I'm not even going to try to read that off because I will massacre it. Okay. I'm just going to refer to it as the Killer Reserve 9 Seats. Okay. This is available on YouTube. You can watch it for free. There is a channel called Retro Macabro, and this person has a lot of movies. I'm not sure if it's a guy or a gal, but they've got a lot of movies, just a big variety of different types of giallos and horror films and all that. So you should check out Retro Macabro on YouTube. They definitely have this movie on there. Okay, now let's get to the bad news. Hey, Johnny. Let's get to the bad news here about the Killer Reserve 9 Seats, or bad news in my opinion. This is, I believe, the worst giallo I have ever seen in my entire giallo watching career. It's too long, in my opinion, at an hour and 43 minutes. It drags and drags and drags, and you're 36 minutes in before you get your first kill. Can I give you the channel name of the person that has these? Yeah, I'll put it in the chat here, the poet. It's Retro Macabro. Okay, so what do you have? You have a bunch of rich, elitist, asshole people that can't get along with each other. I don't know why the main guy, Patrick, considers these people his friends. Some of them are like ex-lovers that he's had, that have all ended up, I guess, jilting him in one way or another. His daughter is along with her boyfriend, and there's some sleazy stuff in here, folks. For instance, you have the daughter getting drugged up and dancing naked after a bunch of people have been killed. And I'm like, okay, I don't get it. But so 36 minutes in, before the first kill happens, and that happens to Janet Agron's character, which a lot of you that watch a lot of the Italian films will remember Janet Agron in particular from City of the Living Dead. And she was very good in that. And now some of the problem with this movie may have been that it was dubbed. Okay. So that makes them kind of quirky sometimes. But before I go any further into the movie, let's get these kills out of the way. There were a fair amount of kills once it got going. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you and say there weren't any kills, but again, this is the Killer Reserve 9 Seats from 1974, directed by Giuseppe Bonatti. So you have a woman, well, you have a total of let's see, 7 kills total in this. So you got a woman that's stabbed in the back, a woman crushed in a sliding door. That was a pretty good kill. A man hung, a woman. It appears that this woman was repeatedly stabbed in the vagina, folks. I, I mean, it wasn't explicit. It didn't show the knife going in there, but that's what it appeared to be. A man strangled with rope. A man, uh, man strangled with rope, and then a woman just fell over dead at the end. And I'm, what the heck? I don't get it. So you had a couple of pretty good kills in the movie, but it was too long, and the ending didn't really make sense to me. I didn't know what it was trying to say, and I don't want to give anything away by going too much into it. But basically, like I said earlier, you got a bunch of rich elitist assholes, kind of like the group in Burial Ground. However, what Burial Ground had going for it that this film did not was that these rich elitist assholes that would taking their clothes off at the drop of a hat and having sex everywhere, didn't care who saw them. That's very similar to Burial Ground. But in Burial Ground, they were getting killed off pretty quickly. They were getting killed off in really gory, kind of inventive ways. And this movie had none of that, folks. None of that. And then you have this nonsensical ending. Now, some people might say, well, whoa, Dana, Dario Argento, a lot of times his films wouldn't make sense, or Lucio Fulci's films wouldn't make sense, and they were great. I agree. But they all had better storylines. Even Fulci's stuff overall had a better storyline than this movie did. I tried watching it last night, and it wasn't happening because I kept falling asleep, because that's how long they made me wait till they had a kill in it. And it was just, these people arguing and fighting. And it's like, why did you agree to go to this theater, this big, elaborate theater that this Patrick guy owned, if y'all just absolutely hated each other? And Patrick is nearly killed at the beginning of the film when a beam falls down, and he blames basically everybody that's there. It's like, dude, why would you even hang around these people? So, nonsensical plot, makes you wait too long for the first kill. And one of the other things going for it, the killer in the movie has a creepy mask. Okay. You have a couple of kind of cool kills and a guy that has a creepy mask. And that's all this movie has going for it, folks. Absolutely, in my opinion, that's all it has going for it. Now, am I telling you not to watch it? No, heck no. You can watch it. I'm just, warning you now. And if there's some of you out there that watch it, whether you're in here tonight watching me live on the stream, or you watch this on the replay and you watch it and you say, I think it was great, Dan, I would love for you to come back and let me know what you feel is great about it. And the reverse is also true. If you hated it like I did, then I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Whether you come in another stream and talk about it, or you comment under this video, or whatever. I would love to hear other people's thoughts on the film. So, if I'm going to give this, I can't even give it a 3, folks. I can't even give it a 3. Oh, man. Okay. I'm going to give it a 2. And, yeah, just, in my opinion, just not a good film at all. And definitely not a good giallo, folks. All right. So moving right along to the next one, which is one that I thought I had not seen because I did not recognize the title, and that's People Toys from 1974. Dang, you say, dang, I thought you give it a one. No, at least give it a two for those two kind of interesting kills and for the killer having the creepy mask. Yeah, I'll give it at least a two for that. But People Toys is also known as The Devil Times Five. Yeah, the film that has Leif Garrett as a young boy in it. Um, and it's also called The Horrible House on the Hill. But for some reason, I was not familiar with it under the title People Toys. So I was like, oh my gosh, I've seen Devil Times Five. You know. So this also came out in 1974, directed by Sean McGregor. And we've got a poster for the movie under the title People Toys. It says, "You too could become a people toy. Children can do strange things." Um, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the plot of the movie. This movie is not, but I will say this movie is not very well acted. I think the kid actors, including Leif Garrett, are better than the adult actors in this. I will say that. But we have a total of 8 kills in this one. So this one has one more than the Killer Reserve 9 seats. So we've got a man, like this was a really convoluted kill, but it was cool at the same time. So you've got a man stabbed with a pitchfork, bludgeoned with a hammer and a sledgehammer, beat with chains, and then finally stabbed with a knife. Okay. You got a man who's throttled and hung by a generator power cable. These are some inventive kills, in my opinion. A man axed in the back. That one was pretty standard. Woman eaten by piranhas in the bathtub. I thought that one was pretty inventive. A man stabbed with a machete. That's pretty standard. Woman burned alive. That can kind of be more standard. Woman stabbed in the throat with a spear, and a man's throat slit. So we had some, interesting kills that you don't see every day. And all of these kills were perpetuated by these kids that are shown on the poster. And there's one kid that's not shown. Hence the other title for this movie, The Devil Times Five. And these are some creepy ass kids. And what the deal is with them is they are in a mental ward. They're in a mental hospital on the children's floor, basically. And I don't know where they are being taken, but something happens, and probably these kids caused it. They probably caused the van they were riding in to. They might have cut the brake lines or something. You don't ever see that, but the driver ends up skidding off the road. The van rolls over and over and over down an embankment into the woods, and you would think the kids would be killed too, but they're not. And I think the other 4 kids think that Leif Garrett's character of David is killed in the accident, but he ends up being alive. It's like, hey, you guys, get me out of here, you know. And so they make their way up to a house or a lodge or whatever you want to call it, where several people are staying. One guy who's called Papa Doc, who runs a bunch of sanitariums. And I don't know specifically if they're sanitariums for sick people or sanitariums for mental patients. But I believe the blonde girl in this, Julie, I think, is his Papa Doc's daughter, and then she's in love with this guy who's very sleazy. I mean, there's one scene where he doesn't even care that he's naked in front of a woman that he used to have a relationship with called Lovely, I think's what they call her. And I think she's supposed to be with Papa Doc. And she's probably the most attractive. And then there's um, another guy that is, I guess, an associate of Papa Doc's, and his wife, who's an alcoholic. So you got all these people staying at this lodge trying to, I guess, get a game plan for business, apparently. So these kids come up out of the woods and they charm the people there. And things don't get messy until about midway through the film, and the kids start killing the people off. I think the movie works very, very well. Um, Even though the adults are not good actors, they're kind of one dimensional and all that. The kids are really what makes this film work and what makes it worth watching. And I hadn't seen it for a few years. And I believe Vinegar Syndrome put it out in a high def version, and that's the version I saw on Tubi. I thought Steve had the high def version, but I couldn't find it on his shelf. He tells me he has the Killer Reserve 9 seats as well, and I couldn't find it either. So this one is available on Tubi. A very, very good transfer. Like I said, they use the Vinegar Syndrome transfer, which is high def. And it looks really, really good for a movie from 1974. But like I said, the kids are really what makes this work. They appear to have no conscience at all. They don't care. They act like it's a game to kill people. And all of those things make it a really creepy and effective movie. Um, and it's well paced. It's only an hour and 28 minutes. It's not overly long. It's paced well, in my opinion, and it works so much better than the first film I talked about. So I will give, of course, I'm going to give this one 5 Deadites out of 5. Because I just thought this one was fantastic, despite the weak link when it comes to the adult actors. The stuff that happens to them in this film, and the complete lack of empathy that these kids show, complete lack of conscious, uh, you know, the conscience is just not there. It's just like these kids have just been wiped clean, where they just don't care, and they don't care what they do to people. And you best not make them angry, or you will suffer. I'm not really sure why they don't show the other kid um, on this poster. Maybe they thought these kids were the more effective of the ones, but I thought the other kid was creepy too. I think she was dressed as um, a nun through the majority of the film, and she had real bright blonde hair, which was weird. And Leif Garrett liked to dress like a woman or a little girl at different points in the film. I'm not sure what that was about, but you know, but it works. It worked for me. Um, and after the big letdown from the other movie, it was really refreshing to go back and watch The Devil Times Five, aka People Toys, aka The Horrible House on the Hill. There may have been some other titles, but those are the 3 that I know right off. And again, like I said, you can watch that one on Tubi. I think you can also watch it on the Fossil map as well. I'm not sure how that transfer is, But if you want the best transfer, Tubi's got the best transfer because they are using the Vinegar Syndrome release transfer. So you can watch The Killer Reserve 9 Seats on YouTube. Just go to Retro Macabro and you should be able to find it fairly easily on Retro Macabro's channel. And guys and gals, I guess that is it for me for tonight. And I want to thank the poet and Johnny. I want to thank y'all for being in the chat tonight and kind of keeping me company as I navigated through these two films tonight. For those of you that were watching along that maybe didn't feel comfortable coming into the chat, I want to thank you for watching as well. And for those that didn't have time to join me live on the stream, but you'll watch this on the replay, I thank you as well. And I appreciate each and every one of you that takes time out of your day, whether it's when I'm doing these live or after the fact. It all means so much to me. So I appreciate it, folks. And so, as always, I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Probably won't be anything tomorrow because I have to work the late shift at work, and that kind of cuts into my programming time. But be sure to tune in Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where we're going to be watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, directed by Tobe Hooper from 1974. And I hope you guys and gals have a wonderful Friday Eve, a wonderful Thursday night. And if you love Aussie as much as I do, get out there and blast some Aussie and try your best to live the Aussie way. And what do I mean by that? I mean, don't stay stuck in the past, folks. Move forward from the present into the future and never, ever give up on your dreams. I love each and every one of you guys and gals out there, and I'll see everybody next time.